Hey folks, welcome to Austin. My pal Tom Segura.
How you doing?
He's the thin one now. And Tom has generously donated a little bit of his afternoon to share his new GT3 with us. And it is not a normal GT3 Touring. It has the DeMan 4.5 liter, the variant like the Boxster Cayman one, but now based on the GT3. Now, Tom has the Cayman 4.5 as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Like mine.
Yes.
And so, give me the quick background story, how you ended up with the Cayman DeMan motor, and then how you ended up with this car, and then going back to Rick for this engine.
Well, all of it is your fault. So, I always had a fixation with. I love Caymans. I'd driven one. I had the previous
the last one.
Yeah, the last
981.
981
Yeah.
GTS
Mm-hmm.
that I loved. I sold it. I immediately regretted it, and so the next thing that I ordered was the 718 GT4, and I got it, and I absolutely loved it. And I think I was speaking to you, and you go check it, and you sent me a link to when you did a review
of his car, the silver car,
the silver DeMan Cayman. You were like, and in the video you were like, you rave about it, and then in person you were like, this is like an amazing I mean, people obviously, a lot of people modify Porsches, and there's a lot of companies that do it, but then there's some people that do specific ones so well.
Well, this is over the top. You're changing the whole engine.
You're changing everything, but I mean, he has it dialed in.
Yeah.
So whatever, I sent it to him, I got that, and I was like, sometimes too, I've modified a number of cars, and obviously you notice the modifications or what you change, but then sometimes you're like, oh, this is a different car.
Yeah.
This is not like, it's not a little boost.
Yeah, when we met, you had an M2 that had been tuned up, you had an E63 with a tune on it.
Yes.
But this is a different thing.
This is a whole different thing.
And so you told me that you were like, I think I'm ruined.
I think I'm ruined. I mean, really ruined. And it actually was the answer to the, like, when you go like, I want the car that makes me feel this. Yeah. And I got that car would like made me feel it. I was like, I get in other cars and I'm like, oh, it's not like that GT4
right.
that DeMan modified and changed. But then, okay.
Then you texted me and you go, I can get a Touring.
I can get a Touring.
And I go, I don't think you're going to like it as much as the GT4. It's just not that crazy.
And so here's the full story on the Touring. I get an allocation and I build my own spec for it. This is not that car.
Okay.
So what happened was, halfway through that, there's a waiting line, obviously, or time for your allocation to arrive, or your spec to arrive the car after you order it. During that time, I changed my mind. I just wasn't dreaming about the car, and for me, it's like a very emotional. I want to dream about the car.
Yeah.
So I go, you can let my allocation go.
Okay.
And the guy goes, okay. A couple months later, I go, I changed my mind again. Can I still get it? And he goes, yes. But he doesn't tell me
that it's not the same car.
No. So when I go, this car comes off the back of a truck, like a few miles from my house.
Yeah.
And it comes out, and I go, what is that?
Is my car behind that one?
I go, that's not the one. And I call him. I go, this isn't the car. And he's like, what? I go, this isn't the car that I ordered. He goes, oh, after you let your allocation go, we changed the spec. And I go, you have to mention that to me. I go, it's not the color, it's not the options.
This is important.
This is a PDK. It's like, I go, I don't want it.
Yeah.
And he goes, well, you can sell it. So I go, okay. I go, then I drive it, and I go, it's boring. I go, it's boring to drive. And I go, I don't like it.
It was boring.
It's boring. I don't want it. And I'm actually like in the process of like, all right, I guess, I'll sell it. I don't know how I'm going to sell it. I'll take it to a dealership or someone.
That call, sorry.
No problem. Or I'll take it somewhere. And as I'm in that process of like figuring out what I'm going to do with it, I believe you go, like, did you know that Rick will also do his DeMan shit to your Touring? And I was like, what? So then I text him, I'm like, for real? You do it? And he was like, yeah, send it to me. So I was like, all right. So I send it to him and get it back. And it's,
Now we should drive.
It's a totally different
Now
thing.
we should drive. Put her in sport, boss.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All right.
Okay. Sounds great.
Sounds great.
And so I got the dyno chart from Rick. 591 horsepower and 427 pound-feet of torque. And that's a plus 90, plus 100 over stock. That's a bunch.
It's quite different than what it was. I felt like I was driving an Accord when I got this thing. I think part of that is because you and him ruined me with the GT4.
Well, that car is so exciting.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
And it's so small and light and rowdy.
Yeah.
It should be noted this car is still under break-in, so we can't go too insane in it. But what you can feel is the extra torque between 3,000 and 5,000 RPM.
You definitely can. And it should be noted that if you tour for 250 days a year, none of your cars will have miles on them.
Yes.
Like all the cars are like the same as they were like 9 months ago.
It's kind of unfortunate about being so busy that you can't enjoy the fruits of your labor.
It's a bizarre thing where I'll take the car and someone's like, have you driven this? And I'm like, yeah, today.
So you live in Austin now. We're now on the outskirts of Austin, and what do you, when you have time, what do you like to do with this car? What do you use it for?
I mean, this became, after I got it back from him, like I'd only drove it a little bit before that. I shipped it off to Rick, and then I've made this like the daily driver. Like,
so this is really what you drive more than the other cars?
Lately, yeah. I mean,
well, you got comfort seats, which is smart. Even though you did you ask for comfort seats? Did your original car have comfort seats?
All of this is like the salesman's build. Yeah. None of it. I mean, I picked nothing of this car. No.
So what's really interesting about the 4.5 engine in the GT3 is it has about 23 more horsepower than the 4.5 engine in the Cayman and Boxster.
That is quite, and also you notice it too.
You notice the extra horsepower top?
I think what you notice is you said that the report showed you the more torque going into the Cayman, right?
The Cayman has 25 pound-feet of torque more.
Right.
This has 450 instead of 427, and then this has more horsepower.
Yeah,
because of the revs.
I think you just notice, what I meant is you really notice that torque in the Cayman more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you feel it. It's much more notable, I think.
But it's still and I asked Rick, I was like, but the GT3 is the better engine from the factory, and Rick said to me, yeah, but it's really designed to rev over 6. Nothing happens really under 6, and because of that, you just don't have the torque that you get with the other car. I think we should go left here. I don't know where we are.
I don't know either.
I don't either. Yeah, left is where we want to be. So it's a Saturday, it's a warm day, it's busy by the lake, but I still wanted to get to have
I will say this though, I think that Cayman experience, like when this came stock, this was such a tamed down version of a car to me, comparatively, that I was like, what is this? Like, I met somebody who had a similar, build, and I was like, isn't it horrible, like, and boring to drive? And he was like, no. Like, he's like, I love it. I was like, oh.
Well, I think that shows you how much the GT4 4.5 can reset your barometer.
That's what happened.
Of what's supposed to be good.
Yeah, that's really what happened. That thing completely changed my expectations.
Yeah.
And it's just notably, it's so thrilling to drive.
Yeah.
That you get in other cars. This is a great car. I shouldn't be like, I'm not trying to shit on the car, but yeah, my expectations just completely changed.
Yeah, when I went to go drive the new GT3 RS, which to many, many people is the most exciting, hyped up, craziest Porsche, ever made. And don't get me wrong, the brakes were amazing, the handling was amazing, the downforce was amazing. But on the straights, I was like, well, this is quiet and kind of tame.
Yeah.
My car wants to rip the tires off the ground when I go flat.
Yeah.
And that one didn't. So the fact that this is available is pretty cool. I'd like to get a good clean one halves you here. But yeah, compared to the Cayman, it feels like just kind of a regular car.
Oh, let me ask you this about the new GT3 RS.
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't. I can't drive fast enough to do the things that it does.
Yeah.
And make it worth the sacrifice of not having a trunk. It has no trunk in the front. That's annoying to me.
I got a call about that one, and I also was like, nah,
These driveways are like not happening.
This is insane.
All right,
Look at that.
Well, that's an interesting driveway. Well, we have some room. I want to feel the beams.
Yeah. Let's see if there's a little bit
open around this bend to the right. I think there's going to be.
Is that going to stop sign here coming up? What is this?
Doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's got torque. It's got a bunch of mid-range. I mean, you didn't even rev it over 5 there, and it still feels fast. That's a big difference. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, it feels that. I definitely feel the extra power there for sure.
For sure. And that's why you send it to Ricky DeMan.
That's why you send it over there. Okay, can I have a go?
Yeah.
All
For
right.
sure.
So what I feel immediately is the engine feels much more alive in the lower half of the RPM band.
I mean, it's such a difference from the stock, you know.
Oh yeah. That's immediately noticeable.
Yeah.
It doesn't drone. That's good. Whatever. Do you have any idea what the exhaust is on this?
Do I?
Yeah.
None.
Good. That's the way to be. Just let him do his thing.
Let him do it. I mean, look, man, my whole goal with this is I was like, I want this thing to be fun to drive. I wasn't having fun with it. And sending it to him was the move.
Well, the most important thing when you're modifying a car like this, oh, that's excellent. That mid-range punch from 4, that's really, because it brings the punch down by like 2,500 RPM. So when you send a car like this away to get modified, cyclists, you don't want to change the fundamental character of the car. You want it to be the same car, just tuned up to like what it could be.
Right.
And so that's what I like about this, is it's not, it's not changed. It's just more shove, and that's excellent.
Yeah.
And even the sound, it's brought down a half an octave.
Yeah.
But it's still that same mechanical, revvy, smooth. Like this,
It's also, this exhaust note is not too much.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, it still feels like you're in, you get that growl, but it's not the overwhelming where you're like, huh? What'd you say? Like to the person next to you.
Because your GT4, you said, is pretty loud.
It is super fucking loud. Yeah.
It's really nice to feel this engine made it to the PDK.
Yeah.
Because mine, being a manual, it feels more aggressive, you know?
Yes.
This is like, it's cool that it's still like, it's so smooth when it shifts and everything. It's lovely.
Yeah, it's great.
This
great.
is like a must-do for GT3.
Yeah, this was look, he made me want to keep the car.
Yeah.
That was the whole thing. I was like, I want to.
You keep a spec you didn't even want.
Yeah, now I want to keep it.
Nice chicken.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's a total. But here's the thing. What's fascinating to me is that having sent him 2 different cars, like one's manual, one is PDK, both have completely, rebuilt it. He did his whole thing to them. They're still completely different experiences.
Yeah.
Like if I drive this for a couple days and then get that, I feel like I'm driving, a completely different experience.
Yeah.
That other one is still more raw. The GT4 feels more raw. But this, you can see how this is a fun daily driver now. Like
for sure.
You run errands in this and you get a thrill, which is what I wanted, something that feels thrilling.
Right.
But you still have it's a very accessible car. It doesn't feel like, oh my God, I'm going to get into this thing that is a track-only experience,
Well, that's the PDK.
Yeah.
The fact that it's just D and then and
take off,
and you don't have that upgraded clutch where you have a little extra pedal effort. And also, like, my Boxster, even though I got the quietest exhaust option, it sounds like a World War II aircraft.
Oh, yeah, dude.
This doesn't, the sound doesn't change in the same way.
It doesn't change in the same way.
It's so interesting.
This car you can also drive. Like, I feel like that Cayman, there's only one way to drive that, which is like, it's always bananas.
Yeah.
This, you can actually drive it casually if you want to, or you can, you know.
Yeah. This is good.
Yeah.
And I'm short shifting at 6 because the car is still under braking, but but even then, you know, you can feel that extra shove. It makes a big difference because these cars aren't fun unless you beat on them.
You gotta lay on it, dude.
Yeah. Wow. That was a lovely taste, Tom Segura.
Glad you enjoyed.
Thank you very, very much.
Thank you for encouraging me to spend.
I'm an expensive friend.
You're a very expensive friend.
Who's a more expensive friend, me or Bert?
I think you are.
Bert at least gives you stuff. He gave you a race car.
I just inspired. He bought me coffee today.
That's awesome. So shout out to Rick DeMan.
You're the man, Rick.
You're a good soul doing the Lord's work up there on these Porsches. I know this video is a little light on the B-roll, but Tom is a busy man, and so we don't want to spend all day out here doing flybys. But I wanted to get a taste of what the GT3 4.5 was all about. Of course, check out DeManMotorsport.com if you want to build one for yourself. And now the hypothetical, gun to your head, the question I hate. Okay. Gun to your head, you get one. The Cayman or this. I only have a certain amount of money to spend. I can't have both, but I want the most exciting Porsche that money can buy.
I mean, for me, it's without question the Cayman.
The Cayman, right?
It's the most thrilling car I've ever. I mean, also because of you, I've driven some wild McLarens. I've driven a number of Ferraris. I mean, I've had the good fortune to get into a lot of fun cars. Mm-hmm. I still think the most fun car I've ever driven is that GT4.
Yeah, I mean, I drive fun cars literally for a living.
Yeah,
I don't even have to do stand-up in between.
No.
That's and for me, even independent of money, you know, if I had more money, I'm not sure I could buy a more exciting car than my Boxster.
It's
crazy.
It's
how
so
fun it is.
It's so fun. Every time you turn it on, I get that, like, oh my God feeling.
Yeah.
That is.
It's got the fizz.
It's got the fizz, and like, shifting in that thing is just, it's a visceral feeling of like, it's excitement. I mean, I would just say this. I mean, obviously I'm encouraging you to send it to him, but if you ever get a chance to drive one of the DeMan GT4s, like,
they're awesome.
Hop in that.
Yeah,
man.
And the engine gets you halfway, and the gears get you the other half of the way.
That short gearing. The short gearing is the whole thing.
Yeah,
man. Like it's so much more.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later. Bye.
And remember, always fight your tickets. Use code TST10 on the Off the Record app, available in the Android and iOS store, or go to offtherecord.com/TST.